a brand new day. Stretch out, touch your toes, blink your eyes and blow your nose and say thank you. It's a brand new day.
Hello, welcome to our 5th summer activity morning. Today we've got another story for you. We're going to be thinking about a parable that teaches us about prayer. We've also got a craft for you to do, but first, here is Andrew with a song.
Hello, it's me again. I've come to sing another song for you. One that's about your eyes and your ears and your feet and your lips and your hands and your heart. And it's called Two Little Eyes to Look to God. So as we sing each little bit, point to the bits that we're singing about. So whether it's your eyes or your ears or your feet or your lips or your hands or your heart. Two little eyes to look to God, two little ears to hear His word, two little feet to walk in His ways, two little lips to sing His praise, two little hands to do His will, and one little heart to love Him still. Two little eyes to look to God, two little ears to hear His word, two little feet to walk in His way, two little lips to sing His praise, two little hands to do His will, and one little heart to love Him still. There, hope you enjoyed that.
Thanks for that, Andrew. Now here we have Andy with the story.
And now for our teaching.
Hi, I'm Andy, and I'm here to tell you about today's story that Jesus told. Today we're going to talk about the word persistent. To help you to do this, I'm going to tell you about our neighbour's cat, Rodney. And then I'm going to tell you the story that Jesus told, which is called The Persistent Widow. So we're talking about persistence today, and that is a difficult word. Persistence means to continually try. And here you can see a little fella who continually tries. He's a visitor to our house. I'm trying to get him to stay still on the camera. He's a visitor to our house, and his name is Rodney. And Rodney's aim in life is to get into our house. And he wants to eat our cat's food, and he tries everything. He's quite a cute little fellow. He's very affectionate and friendly. But really what he wants is food. And as you can see, if I move towards the door, Rodney will follow like a shot, because he wants to come inside. So Rodney is persistent. He never gives up trying to get into our house, and he'll sit on here on the doormat for ages and ages, hoping that I will let him in and let him get to the other cat's food. So there we have Rodney. Say hello, Rodney. Meow. Rodney is an example of persistence, and that is what we are going to talk about today. So today we're going to look at a story from the Bible about a persistent widow, and Jesus told this story to his disciples. The story will help us to learn more about God. It will also help us to learn more about prayer. Prayer, as you remember, is what we call talking to God, and we do it all the time at our church. You will learn today that God is always ready to hear our prayers. We should keep praying. We should not give up, and we should be persistent. We should keep praying at all times. And like the judge in this story, God is caring. He's fair. He's full of love. He's full of compassion and kindness to us. And God promises to hear us when we talk to him. God wants to hear us, and God is happy to look after us. God is really pleased when we keep asking him for what we need. Here's a story that Jesus told about a persistent widow, a widow who kept being persistent. Jesus said, in a certain city there was a judge who did not fear God and who did not respect man. And there was a widow in that city who kept coming to the judge and saying, "Give me justice against my adversary." She was unable to solve her problem, so she had to go to the judge to ask for help. Someone had done wrong to her and taken what was hers. She was in the right, and she was fighting for what was right. So she came to the judge and asked him for help. For a while, the judge refused to help her, but she was persistent. She kept coming back and kept asking the judge for justice, for him to help her to do what is right. Later, the judge said to himself, "Although I don't fear God and I have no respect for anyone, because this widow keeps on bothering me, I will give her justice. I will help her, so that she will not lose the case and then hurt me." Jesus said, "Listen to what the unjust judge says. Will not God give justice to his chosen ones, his people, who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long in helping them? I tell you, he will quickly give justice to them. And yet when the Son of Man, when Jesus returns, will he find us faithful on earth?" And there in the picture you can see the judge finally helping the widow who tried and tried again. She was persistent. So what does the story mean? Do you remember? We said at the beginning this story will help us to understand God more and to learn more about prayer. How? Well, Jesus was showing his disciples that if this unjust, stubborn, unkind judge eventually did the right thing, then of course we know that when we talk to God, he will do the right thing for sure when we ask him for help for what we need. Unlike the judge, the Bible tells us that God is just, caring, fair, full of compassion and full of kindness. Unlike the judge, God promises to hear us when we ask him for our needs. The widow was asking for justice and what was right. We should also ask for justice and what is right as well. Like the judge, God willingly hears us. And unlike the judge, God delights. He is happy to look after us. And unlike the judge, God is pleased when we keep on asking. Jesus is also showing his disciples and us that like the widow kept asking, we should keep on praying. Like the widow didn't give up, we also shouldn't give up with God. Like the widow was persistent, we should be persistent in prayer. Yes, remember, prayer is just simply talking to God. I wonder, have you ever talked to God before? Because if you haven't ever talked to God before, you can now. You can ask him to help you to learn about him. You can ask him to help you to understand what the Bible means. And you can ask him to help you to say sorry for all the wrong things you've done and to help you to love him. We naturally don't love God with all of our hearts, but he will help us to love him if we ask him. If you already do love God like the widow, please do keep on praying. Don't give up praying. Like the widow, be persistent. And like Rodney the cat, be persistent as well. Thanks for listening to our story today. Bye-bye for now.
He's the King of Kings, he's the Lord of Lords. He can heal the sick, he can calm the storm. He's the Son of God and he saved us from sin, and he calls us to follow him. can do that? Who is this man? He's a King of Kings, he's a Lord of Lords. He can heal the sick, he can calm the storm. He's a Son of God and he saved us from sin, and he calls us to follow him. Jesus has his friends caught in a storm, looking like they're gonna drown. Jesus yelled, "Quiet," the storm was calm. Only God can do that. Who is this man? He's the King of Kings, he's the Lord of Lords. He can heal the sick, he can calm the storm. He's the Son of God and he saved us from sin, and he calls us to follow him. Jesus on a cross was crucified, darkness covered all the land. After 3 days Jesus rose again, only God can do that. Who is this man? He's the King of Kings, he's the Lord of Lords. He can heal the sick, he can calm the storm. He's the Son of God and he saved us from sin, and he calls us to follow him. And he calls us to follow him. Are you gonna follow him?
I hope you remember the lesson from Rodney the cat and the persistent widow. But are you now ready for your craft? Today, Zara is going to show you exactly what we'll be making.
So today we're going to be making this judge's wig and hammer. What we take first is the cork and the stick, and we're going to colour the cork in brown. So just gonna blur it in all the way around. And you should be able to see a little hole in there, and you can put the stick into the hole, and there is your hammer. Then next we're going to be making the wig. So we've got this bit of card with these two bits hanging down on it. We're going to get the cotton wool and we're going to just tear it up into pieces. We're going to put the glue onto the white card that's hanging down, and we're just going to stick wool onto the card to make a wig. And you can put on as much as you can make out of your cotton. Just quite a bit to give it the full effect. Top. And then we can put some on top here. Just on the very front piece that you'll be able to see when you're wearing it there. then put it around our head to measure how big you need it. And then just get the sellotape and tape it together at the back there. And there you have it. Your judge's wig and your hammer. It's got his hammer as well. Have fun making.
I hope you really enjoy making your judge's wig and hammer. Please remember to send the pictures of your crafts into Yvonne, and we'll see you again next Thursday for our last activity morning of the summer. Goodbye.
Get up out of bed, have a yawn and scratch your head and say thank you. It's a brand new day. Stretch out, touch your toes, blink your eyes and blow your nose and say thank you. It's a brand new day.